From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,364 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $555. Antiwar.com reports in addition to the 10 detainees actually charged with something, Guantanamo Bay continues to hold some 66 detainees totally uncharged with any crime. These detainees have been held for years, many over a decade, and many for no real reason. Musab Omar Ali al-Mudwani, a 36-year-old who arrived at Guantanamo Bay some 14 years ago, did not do anything. Captured during raids targeting foreigners in Karachi, Pakistan, the Pentagon assumed he was part of a six-person Al-Qaeda cell in Karachi, so named because they caught 6 people. Lacking evidence, officials eventually dialed back their accusations, and a parole board finally cleared him for release this week. Madwani is the 33rd of the 66 uncharged men that has been approved to be released, though when and even if these 33 will actually be let go remains uncertain, with heavy restrictions even on the release of innocent men from the detention center, making every release a protracted and heavily politicized battle. Ultimately, the number is more likely to go up than down, with 17 more uncharged detainees facing parole hearings and a lot less difficulty in getting someone approved for release than there is in getting someone already approved for release actually out of detention. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Delaware Supreme Court issued a ruling Tuesday that said that the state's law that allows capital punishment as it is presently configured violates the U.S. Constitution. The High Court issued its decision in the test case of a Temple University Law School graduate accused of killing a classmate last year. The problem with Delaware's law, the court concluded, is that the language allows judges to overrule juries and hand out death sentences, a violation of rights guaranteed by the Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which says juries must unanimously vote for and independently qualify a convict to be put to death. Delaware's law states that judges are not bound by jury sentencing verdicts in cases they are not constitutionally able to apply the death penalty, thus giving them an unconstitutional final say, according to the court. Tuesday's decision follows a U.S. Supreme Court ruling in January that struck down a similar provision in Florida's death penalty law. Delaware and Alabama are the only other states that have language in the law that allows judges to supplant a jury sentence of life in prison with death. Delaware can continue to put prisoners to death for capital crimes, but only if the General Assembly passes a revised statute that removes the language allowing for judges to overrule a jury. If you're fed up with the government running every aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, what's wrong with you? Go right now to thelavaflow.com/listen. The Lava Flow podcast, channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Subscribe today using any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com/listen, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow podcast, striking the root every episode. Reuters reports a blaze that has scorched some 43,000 acres and destroyed dozens of homes near California's famed Big Sur coast was sparked by an illegal, unattended campfire in a state park, according to authorities. According to U.S. Forest spokesman Don Jacques, the so-called Soberanes fire, which erupted on July 22nd, began as a small blaze 2 feet in diameter, ignited by an unknown individual in a section of the Garapata State Park that was closed to camping and campfires. Jacques added no arrests have been made. The more than 5,400 fire personnel battling the blaze have been able to draw containment lines around only 18% of the wildfire so far, a measure of how much of its perimeter has been cleared by fire crews of unburned vegetation. Steep, mountainous terrain as well as hot, dry conditions have hampered efforts to quell the fire, tearing through the drought-parched chaparral, grass, and timber. One person, a bulldozer operator hired by property owners to help battle the flames, died last week when his vehicle rolled over. It was the second California wildfire-related death in a week. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.